Hello everyone, I am Manisha Mehta, your own clinical dietitian and sports nutritionist, and today I have a special message for all of you which I have never shared. So for the last 3 weeks, I haven't been active on YouTube, and the reason is that I lost my grandmother and she was the only grandparent that was left. Obviously, I was not in the state of coming in front of the camera and talking to you guys, but today I am actually gathering a lot of courage to share what I'm going to share with all of you, because everyone in the world has generally seen me in that power zone or driven nutritionist who is all work, no play and all that stuff. But after the thing happened, after my grandmother left, I was not in the right state of mind because quite attached to her, and for the next 1 week or so, I think 2 weeks, I was crying my eyes out and not in the right state of mind. My eyes were swollen. So yeah, in that state I could not come in front of the camera. But after this break, when I thought that what should be my first video, then the only idea that I had was that it should be the lessons I learned from her, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. It is not the usual nutritional advice that I have, so if you want to go, you can. But thanks to all those people who messaged me in between, reached out to me as to why I was not posting. So yeah, I am going to share something really personal over here, and it has taken a lot of courage for me to do this. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing that I learned from her was that I have always seen her take responsibility for her own emotions and her own life. What I mean by that is that I have never seen her complaining. I never saw her demanding stuff from anyone, that you owe me this or you owe me that, emotional support or nothing like that. Despite the fact that she has always been for everyone. In fact, people have also been there for her, but then it was not out of a demanding zone. So yeah, I think the first thing that I learned from her, take responsibility and take charge of your own life and your own emotions. It's your life. If your mood is not good, nobody should be bothered, and nobody is bound to be bothered. You are supposed to take care of yourself, and that's what I think I also need to incorporate in my life. Second, self-care. I know this is something which is not very much expected out of Indian women for some reason, but that's one thing that I observed her doing, and that's one thing that I'm really proud of her, that she used to do that. Whenever I have seen her, she would wake up first thing in the morning, meditate, and do her jobs for herself, the first priority. And I think that impacted her mental health a lot, in the terms that even in her last days, she had a calm composure. She was not freaking out like, oh my God, I'm going to die. So yeah, meditate, self-care, whatever your way is, but then self-care. I have been meditating for the last 12 years and I hope I will continue, and maybe I started that because I saw her doing that. I'm not sure, because 12 years back I was not that aware. But yeah, that's one thing that I am doing, and if it hits home with you, then you should also do. Third, adapt. Now, what do I mean by adapt is that I saw her changing with the times. What I mean by that is, so this is just a small example. She was a native Punjabi speaker. So Punjabi was her native language. And when I was born, my parents used to talk in Hindi with me, and because of me, she got fluent in Hindi. She started talking in Hindi. And when my youngest cousin was born, she was born 15 years back, and at that time English was a rage. So she polished her English skills and used to work on her English vocabulary. So yeah, that's a very small example, but then I also saw her adapt in the way that my grandfather left when I was 6 years old, so that's 24 years back, and I never saw her complaining about the fact that oh, he's not there, so I don't know how to do, I don't know what to do. She adapted and she did all her responsibilities, she performed all her duties, and that changed with time. She evolved with time with that. So yeah, adapt with time, evolve with time, whatever you want to call it. That's something that I would really want to incorporate in my life, which is one attribute of her. Fourth, have fun, laugh. So that's one thing that is, I think, the biggest learning that I've learned from her, because in her last days also, she was savage AF. And why I say that? Because during her last days, she was suffering. But then despite that, she would crack jokes. She would make everyone laugh. And in fact, just a few days before she went off, she was on a call with me, on a video call with me, and she was giving me tactics on how to handle boys. And my mother is sitting right next to her, giving her the look, excuse me, you never taught me that. So yeah, have fun. Do not take life so seriously. And that's one thing that I really need to incorporate in my life, because once she wasn't there and once I was all distraught, I tried to take life too seriously and then work my ass off, and I took all the clients which came to me without any filters. I started a course, for crying out loud. One for studying for myself, one where I'm teaching people. And the kind of overburdened work that I have, it is coming to bite my ass off. But yeah, so that's one thing which I shouldn't have done, and that's one thing that I need to incorporate more in my life, that take life easy and do not work so much. Take care of yourself, self-care, meditate, as I said. Fifth and last, well, not exactly last, it's the last thing that I can think of right now, because it's a nutritional advice, and how can I bid you farewell without giving you a nutritional advice? She never ever hogged on junk, but at the same time she never ever cut back herself also. So I have seen her eat everything but in moderation. She would gauge the way her body is feeling and then eat accordingly. If she's feeling like having a sweet, she'll be like, let's just have a little something. And if she's feeling like having something fried, yeah, I'm going to have it. And that's one thing that I think we all need to incorporate in our life. Moderation is the key. And cook. I know that she was the best cook in the world, even better than my mom. If you learn to cook well, your family, your grandchildren are going to love you. Trust me. So yeah, that's the 5 things that I learned from my grandmother. And this is how I wanted to break my break on YouTube. I hope it gives you something to learn. And if any of these advices hits you home, let me know in the comments. Also, on Friday at 11:30 a.m, I am going to do a live session on fitness easy for foodies. It is going to be a live session which is going to be streamed on Zoom for a special group of ladies. But then I have requested the organizers to let me be live on YouTube along with the session, so that it can be available for you guys as well. So I will see you on Friday at 11:30 a.m. and from the next week onwards, you will get a video every Sunday. And till then, be a fit foodie, and remember, I love you unconditionally. Bye.